Because they're down 2-0, entering a road games against the Pelicans. That is tonight, and Terry Stotts asked if he's considering lineup changes. He said yes, but Terry Stotts did not just fall off a turnip truck, people. He's not going to tell you what it is. One possible change, he could put Mo Harkless back in the starting lineup. I would argue that is a very good move. Do you like that one?
Well, I mean, you're in a 7-game series. The first 2 games didn't fare so well for you. You need to make adjustments. Game to game, you have to make adjustments. I don't know if it's going to be game plan-wise. I don't know if it's going to be personnel-wise. But something has to be done.
Jason, do something.
Yeah, you have to do something.
You're doing what you're doing. It ain't working.
It ain't working, man.
Harkless, I feel like Harkless could be, that could make a big difference.
It could make a difference because he's a guy who can shoot the 3, and right now they've been running a lot of pick and rolls with guys who can't.
I was going to say.
But I think more importantly, they've got to figure out a way to unshackle Dame and CJ, because what's been happening is they've been trapping. Look, New Orleans has made it a priority. We are not going to let these guys create, and we're going to harass and trap and all that. There's got to be a way, and I got to credit to those guys because they're making the right play. If I get trapped, you open, I pass it open, man. But we have to figure out a way where we're going to go right into a dribble handoff or some other action where I'm going to get this ball right back without a whole lot of wasted time and wasted clock, because you can't go through this series saying, well, they trapped our best players, so the other 3 guys on the floor have to make it happen.
And that's hard because I've seen some stuff like, oh, yeah, Damian Lillard's getting shut down one-on-one from Drew Holiday. That's not what's happening.
No.
But shout out to Drew Holiday. He's played great, but you're right. But you're absolutely right. That's not what's happening.
If it was that easy, Dame would just play harder.
I talked
mean,
about
it's not about that. It's a team defense.
Me and Paul, like when we played, the defense made it an emphasis to compact that lane and make us see bodies.
Yep.
Every time we could get by one guy, there's another guy there for help, and that's what these guys are seeing. And that's why it was so tough for us back in the day, because you could zone up, and it was tough to score in that era.
And there weren't as many shooters.
There wasn't that many shooters, and these guys are seeing that type of defense that I saw when I was, playing in the playoffs.
Do you know what else they're going to see tonight? Boogie Cousins. He's going to be sitting courtside at the Smoothie King Center for the first time since he tore his Achilles in January. He's been at a couple of their games, but it'll be nice to see him on the bench. He'd been rehabbing in Los Angeles, had some air travel restrictions, and Anthony Davis said him being there means a lot to us. Right?
I'll tell you right now, that's what I was saying.
What?
Oh, I thought we were going to sound. I was doing Alvin impersonation. I thought we were going to sound. No, absolutely. They've got to be feeling great, right? They're up 2-0 coming home, and then you've got an emotional boost of their guy coming back, walking as we see, like moving around, feeling better.
Dancing. He was dancing in the locker room.
But it was a little limp to it, right? So now he's feeling better. These are all feel good, and you want that momentum going.
So can you explain, please, as a player, Boogie didn't go to their first couple playoff games. Nobody really had an issue with it. Kawhi is not at the Spurs playoff games. It is a much more sensitive topic. How come?
Well, I mean, because they feel like Kawhi should be in the lineup right now. I don't know the extent of his injury, but they seem to think he could play and, help their team. Obviously, Kawhi and his side don't feel that way, and I just think they're just butting heads. And with Boogie, I mean, obviously, he tore his Achilles. He couldn't be there. So now that he's back, I mean, welcome this guy back. This is his first playoff experience. So,
Also, the Pelicans haven't been leaking stories about how all the players want him to do this and he's not doing that and Coach Gentry hasn't gone on camera saying, yeah, you got to ask his group
they
set it up.
Teammates haven't come out and said, well, my injury
was 1,000 times worse and all that.
Well, look, there's so much about the Kawhi situation we don't know, so we will be watching how that unfolds. The Knicks. Let's talk about the Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis tore his ACL back in February. We all remember. Man, so he says he hopes to return at some point next season, but listen to what Knicks owner James Dolan said when he was asked about the timeline for the Unicorns' recovery. This is in the New York Post. Quote, I've been told everything from December to him being out for the season. So I don't know what to expect on that. If you're a Knicks fan, come on.
Hey, I'm
so
sorry,
depressing.
Producer Tinez, he's a Knicks fan. He had to hear this, and it's not good news.
By the way, this bar on the bottom of the screen is really just,
Here's the thing. Even without him being out for the year, let's just take a regular kind of ACL recovery time, about 11, 12 months.
Right. He says December is also something he's been told. So January is kind of what we.
So 9 to 12 months is the usual recovery time. So let's say January he comes back. By January, remember the season starts mid-October now. 2.5 months. The next season will be over anyway because they're not good enough to keep it afloat until he can come back. So him missing the entire season versus half the season, I think that's kind of a moot point. The idea that he's going to miss the first 2.5 months of the season probably tells us that they're going to be out of it by then.
I'm going to take the other point of view, and I'm going to say, yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to say that if he came back midway through the season, we saw a lot of teams this year who did not get going until after the new year, and that, you know, I don't expect him to be the exact same player he was when he got hurt. It takes time to come back from that kind of injury, but I think they could make some noise in the second half of the season if he comes back.
Noise.
Well, look, this is the Eastern Conference. They get to number 8 in the playoffs. It's going to be a party in New York.
We got to stop with that one. Eastern Conference has gotten better.
First, they got to hire a coach that's going to help them make some noise and change the culture.
Get to that. Are you not saying, though, that the 8 in the East is not an attainable position? It is an attainable position.
Well, I think
very attainable.
I think Detroit's going to be better.
Let's talk about the Knicks coaching situation.
Yeah.
Because news came out, Knicks will interview Kenny Smith.
Oh, this is a great hire.
To fielder. Says the man who works for ESPN and would like to see TNT lose a body.
Look at this guy, man.
Hey, man, he the brains on that TNT show. Go ahead, hire that man.
we love watching Kenny on his
basketball acumen is off the charts.
He's awesome, and he keeps everyone else a little more focused than they would be. Nobody's able to keep everyone focused.
Kenny Smith is from Queens. I will never speak ill of someone else from Queens, so, yo, go get that job, man.
Get it.
Go ahead and get it, Kenny.
Interesting. We'll see.
I like that one.
They're certainly interviewing an interesting number of people. Not Jeff Van Gundy, though.
Oh, yeah. We got a superstar.
My God, Jeff Van Gundy
right there.
No Jeff Van Gundy? What's up with that?